So, kind of in summary of this entire video, the most important point we're trying to make to Nelson, like this is what I want him to take back from this video if he sees it. Hello, my name is MrSpaml, and today I'm here with... Oh, Brad, come on, come back, man, come on. And today we're talking about something that's a bit serious, it's a bit different to normal, but me and Brad thought it was quite important to talk about. And the title is not lying, this video is legitimately sort of directed towards the main man, Nelson. We're not dissing him in this video, so don't take this as a diss, Nelson, if you're watching. This is just like, you know, some of our, I guess, concerns over sort of Unturned 2, some of the things we might do different. And before we get into this, just make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, and let's go ahead and get started. So this video is kind of going to be like broken into some little parts. We got some main talking points, but we're pretty much just you know, coming up with this stuff on the spot. We don't have like a script, so there might be a little bit of rambling, but that's okay, isn't it, Brad? Also, why do you look so tiny over there? What is this? So the first point we sort of wanted to talk about is the fact that very few YouTubers are really making Unturned videos anymore. Fudgy is one of the main ones to still be making Unturned videos and actually get like good views. Obviously, like a couple people do, and maybe Russians still do. I don't know. I haven't really watched Russian Unturned videos for a long time.
But the main point is like the older people like Paul Soros Jr., Intac, and all of them that used to pretty much revolutionize the YouTube for Unturned. They're all gone.
Yes, there's just a lack of stuff to really make videos about. Like, I have no idea what to make videos about with Unturned really anymore. I remember like the whole Unturned films was kind of a way of getting around that, because I could do stuff that I couldn't do with normal RPs, and then turns out people like the Unturned films. But now it's like, I don't really know anymore. And the only thing that could really sort of solve that is the release of Unturned 2, because it's like a reset button. And hopefully when Unturned 2 comes out, like big YouTubers like PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye might cover it. And I know for a fact, obviously, Jacksepticeye, I've seen him mention Unturned before. So, you know, there's a chance he makes a video on it, and that'd be very, very nice, because that'd be a lot of extra players.
Which brings us on to our next point, which Unturned is not a small game. As much as I feel like we get like caught in a trap of thinking that it's just kind of a small indie game, it's not. Back in 2018, it was the 4th most downloaded game ever on Steam, and it's still in the top 25 most played games like on Steam today. So when people say Unturned's dead or it's not a big game, it really isn't. It's massive, but I don't know why it feels so like closed off.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the amount of actual active players isn't that high. It's just got a lot of downloads. Obviously, it's a free game. Like, people might play Unturned for a bit and then kind of move on to the next game. It doesn't have, at least I don't think anyway, enough stuff to keep bringing you back. Sure, you can explore with mods and stuff, and mods do help a lot, especially on like RP. They add a whole lot more to it. But I don't know, there isn't enough stuff to sort of grab you, you know. The next big point we have is, obviously Nelson started Unturned 2 development in, was it 2017? I mean, he mentioned it late 2016, but he started doing screenshots and stuff in 2017. And I don't know if it's just me, but it felt like he had more done in 2017 than he even does now, which is really weird. Because there was that like screenshot of the map, and he showed like models for buildings, and there was like a random bathroom that he was quite proud of, and it looked like he was making really good progress. It was like, was it Pinewood, that town? Pinewood. And it looked really good. But then speaking to Nelson more recently, oh yeah, I don't know, Pine something, but speaking to Nelson more recently, he still doesn't exactly know what the map's gonna be. Obviously it's probably gonna be Canada or something again, America, whatever. It's just, I don't know, I feel like he should kind of be working on the map by now.
It feels like his progress is almost like most games start off slow and then build up momentum. He's like going in reverse almost. It feels like it started off quick, big updates, and now the most exciting update we've had is a fire axe being added to the Unturned 2 kind of thing.
Like, yeah, like even YouTubers who made videos like Panda talking about every devlog, I mean, I don't blame them.
They don't make them anymore.
It's content. They don't do it anymore, you know what I mean? They maybe make one talking about every like 3 or 4 devlogs now, and that's not... Like, every devlog should be exciting. It should get players excited.
Even if he delays like publicly releasing one feature just to spread it out kind of thing. Like, release a map with some boring updates and then release vehicles with some boring updates. Like, you should have a catchy headline for all of them. But right now, the most catchy headlines like saving and loading stuff. Like, no one really cares.
That's true. I don't know. It's just, I really wish he had the map done, and I wish at least, you know how it's similar to how when Unturned 3 released, obviously it just had PEI. It didn't have a ton of stuff in, but it was enough for people to get excited and be playing it, and that's kind of what Unturned 2 needs by now, I'd say. I mean, it's 2020, and it's not even like the start of 2020, you know, we're decently into 2020 now, and the fact that all these new consoles are coming out, like if I was Nelson, I'd be probably trying to work on like a console port of Unturned 2, because it would just be brilliant.
Yeah, definitely for September release. But another thing that's a concern is he seems to be like staging the game release slowly. Like I looked on his trailer and he said he wants to slowly move the required hours to get the beta pass down until like 100 hours, which by that point, I mean, where's the big bang release? You know, you want to do a grand like release, Unturned 2's out, but right now it just kind of feels like he's slowly feeding it off to all of the fans until eventually everyone has it, which isn't the type of release I think it needs.
I mean, I don't know about you, but with games, I love it when all of a sudden you check on Steam and you see like this huge drop and the game's come out like out of nowhere, you know? That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And especially because it's a free game. Like if it got front page of Steam because of the big release, which if enough people did it on the first day, which I feel like they could if he did a big release, that's going to be loads of new Unturned players. And it'd be pretty good.
And then and he could, all the YouTubers will be making videos on it. There'll be live streams, the Unturned that we're on now. You could have a little banner thing on it saying that Unturned 2's out. It would just be a big event. It would feel like a Fortnite event. But right now it just kind of feels like he's feeding us the game slowly.
Yeah, which I don't think is the best way to do it. I feel like, you know, keep it sort of locked to the current players. I mean, I haven't reopened Unturned 2 for ages because there's nothing to do in it at the minute. I mean, sure, I could play it with Brad, I guess, and do a little bit of PvP in it. But, you know, I don't want to be playing it while it's still so unfinished. You know, I want to save that almost like a raw reaction when it's ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing we want to touch on, obviously me and Brad, you know, we're not even adults, so we aren't talking about this too well, but Brad, he's done a pretty good job of obviously keeping his Unturned servers going and like getting new plugins and stuff, which is much more expensive than you'd expect. So I think Brad's kind of got some ground to talk about this. But how on earth is Nelson planning on making money with Unturned 2? I mean, at the end of the day, it's his job. He's got to make money. He's got to do it somehow. And because he said something about not using skins or something mad. And I don't know why.
I believe it might have been
that.
in a Panda interview or your interview, I can't remember, but he did mention that the way he's going to try and make money is official servers. And I think there might be a gold upgrade which allows you to play on official servers, which is all well and good. And a lot of people will buy gold because we do support him. We honestly do, as much as this video might seem like we're going against him. We want the best for him in the game. And a lot of people will buy that upgrade, but why take out skins? You know, they're not paid to win. They make people happy. And I can't wear my Hawaiian shirt without it, you know?
Oh, hey, put that away, bro. Bloody hell. Games like Fortnite, they do a good job of... I mean, yeah, again, don't want to be blabbing on about Fortnite for ages, but no one complains about Fortnite skins. Similar to how no one would blame Nelson for having, like, no sort of community, like, marketplace, and if he just did, like, skins you can buy and maybe can't trade, I'd be fine with that. Because at the end of the day, with all that money, he could hire loads of devs. You know, he could get a full team together and then massively speed up Unturned 2 development. And literally, I'm prepared to give Nelson, like, I'd happily give Nelson, like, I don't know, £20? Probably somewhere around that. If I knew that he would massively speed up the development of 2. And I'm pretty sure I've given him more than that buying, like, official skins for random videos over the years. It's probably more like 30, 40. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
No, boxes. No, I've given him like 50, 60.
And I mean, the more money he has, the more staff he hires, which no one actually knows how much he earns right now. But this is obviously his job. And I believe he does have enough money to hire more staff than what he has. Because right now he only has one staff member. And I don't even know if he's paid. He might just be like helping Nelson out. But he's like his public resources kind of guy. He just does events for Unturned. And pretty much is the face of Unturned events kind of thing. But like, I feel like Nelson should have a modeler and then he can do the coding or vice versa, just something to make it a bit more like a team. Because right now, things aren't moving very fast. Back in 2019, when we did the interview with Nelson, he mentioned that the release date was going to be around the end of 2019, which technically he kind of got that right because he did release the game then for people with over 2,000 hours or something, which... I personally don't think it's really a release date because he kind of just gave it out for beta testing. So I wouldn't count that. But I did some digging around on his website, on his Trello, GitHub, and all of that. And nowhere on any of those does he mention anything about an official release date or any future updates kind of thing, which concerns us because, like, when is the actual release date going to happen? It's been 3 years, as we said, and it just doesn't seem to be getting too far. And if you have a look at the trailer that Spaml's going to put on the screen now, there's a lot planned and not a lot complete kind of thing. I mean, I'd almost say that he's just barely past the halfway mark on the recently completed things, you know? And there's still a lot more to be added, which is also concerning. And the final point for me is that on his official website, Smartly Dressed Games, nowhere on that website does he ever mention anything about Unturned 2. Like on the homepage where all brands would go and all people would go to like see the game officially, it's just Unturned, nothing about Unturned 2. Which, I mean, if I was him, I'd be promoting it, advertising it and building hype up, which just makes me think that the release date's even further away because he's not even building hype.
Yeah, effectively what Brad's trying to say is that from the looks of his Trello, I don't know how you even say that, to be fair, it looks like it could be another few years, to be honest, and that's really bad. At the end of the day, we're talking about a single map and some relatively basic systems to get it to like a playable point where people can mod it and make servers, and the modders will pretty much handle the rest until he's done some more developing. In fact, why doesn't he get the community like involved in helping to make the game?
But I feel like there's legal issues with that because they have to like sign stuff and stuff. I feel like it's complicated, but if it's possible, Nelson, I mean, try get modders. You got people like Trojan and all these people that work on talented
people in the Unturned like modding community.
There's
like
full-on real developers that work for this game and make plugins and make mods. Hire them, pay them. They'll do it for free. Half of them, I'm pretty sure. I mean,
just for the chance of being in like the credits, if there is any credits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just credit them and they will help you, you know? And if he implements everything we said in this video, he could have more staff, he could have the game up better. He needs to be more clear because he's not giving anyone who actually really likes Unturned, anyone with more than like 1,000 hours, 500 hours, whatever, he's not giving them much faith. And to have just, if he put a certain date when it's going to release, like having it released this year in September would be bang on. Like, that'd be pretty perfect. There's so much stuff coming out in September. We've got loads and loads of games, like new PC hardware, all sorts. And because it's made in the Unreal Engine, he could relatively easily give Unturned ray tracing. Like, that's pretty sick.
Ooh.
And I mean, he could even maybe, this is kind of a stretch now, I'm kind of just spitting, but you know how Nvidia had the Quake like ray tracing demo?
Yeah.
You surely could get Unturned to run pretty well with ray tracing. And as like a free game to play with ray tracing, that's perfect. Actually a good game.
Just wasted all their money on a 3080.
Yeah.
What's
There's like no free games with ray tracing. So if that was a thing, imagine how brilliant that would be. Like, that's
don't focus on ray tracing, Nelson. We just want the game out, and then we can. Don't postpone for another year to add ray tracing. Like, what we want him to do is hyper expand. A lot of big companies do it, where they start off small, and then like just get staff and use like pretty much pour all the profits you're getting now. Obviously, you have to feed yourself, but pour it back into the game and expand as quickly as possible. Because what we want is Unturned 2 to come out, him to be a millionaire, and then to start making more updates and improvements and even more games if he wants to.
Yeah. I mean, he's not small. He's not started off small. He's like started off big, but it's like an indie game, even though it's not. Yeah. He's got a lot of players. He's got a lot of people with the game downloaded in particular, and he needs to give them a reason to come back to it, or if not coming back to 3, you know, he can just hopefully bring all those players back for the next version of Unturned. Like, I reckon when Unturned 2 fully releases and it comes out properly, loads of players who kind of left Unturned will just come flooding back to at least try it out, and then he just needs to try and keep them there.
Yeah, like you said, he develops like an indie developer with small little updates and like a little blog, and everything's quite like tucked away. Like Fortnite and that, they shove the news down their faces on Twitter and everything. With Nelson, all of his issues are on GitHub. There's barely any people that speak on it. It's all kind of on the side, like an indie game, yet
Yeah.
he's got
Like,
thousands of players per month and
like
millions of
Fortnite
downloads.
runs thousands and thousands, probably like hundreds of thousands of dollars of like ads every bloody day. I've never seen an ad for Unturned. Like, he doesn't advertise it at all, and even when he does, the current way of making money from Unturned probably isn't that efficient. I reckon with his like official skins and those packs, that's probably where most of his money comes from. And I imagine he's made a pretty decent amount from that, but you know, take that to the next level with the next one.
In Unturned 3, when he released the maps and all of that, like Russia and Germany and Washington, I feel like that was the peak of Unturned because it felt like Fortnite. You know, there was a video every time a new map came out. All the YouTubers made breakdowns on the video. Everyone was hyped for the new map. The map came out. Like, I remember servers we'd just make a vanilla server with that map on, and we would get like queues of players joining the server just to try the map out. You know, it didn't have to have anything on it, but there was hype built around it. Now it's just kind of nothing.
You make a really good point. I didn't even think about that. When all those maps were releasing, it was so bloody exciting. And with those
like
trailers,
every
I remember
month
Germany
or so you would hope
in
that a new map
particular.
came out.
Germany and no, Russia was really exciting when that trailer came out. That's a brilliant trailer. I'll play like a short clip of it now.
I think Russia was the first one with quests, and there was a sewer system. Like, it was unseen things, which obviously Unturned 3 now, I think we've got everything that we need in it. But do that with Unturned 2, you know, like, we want that advertising behind it, that hype behind it, which he did in the beginning, but now it's been 3 years and it's like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of this video yet again isn't to just stomp on Nelson. You know, we like Nelson. He's done a lot of good things with Unturned, and we've obviously got way too many hours in Unturned, particularly Brad. You've got like, what, how many hours, Brad? So, kind of in summary of this entire video, the most important point we're trying to make to Nelson, like, this is what I want him to take back from this video if he sees it, is that we want it to release this year. Even if it's right at the end of this year, we want a definite release date. If he has to delay that for whatever reason, at least, you know, we know that he's delaying it. Just having some sort of date to aim for, you know, to look ahead for, it'd be brilliant. That's kind of all we really need. And he's just got to like really pace up the production. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.